What up, fellas? Cheeks, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, man. I'm doing this from my phone tonight. All right, cool. Welcome to the Positive Impact Podcast, where we talk about all topics relevant to the game I love. I'm your host, Terrell Dozier, and tonight's guest is a former Xavier, Arizona legend, current professional player, and 518 standout, Mark Lyons.
My God, what's up,
Cheeks,
Doge?
what's going on with you?
I'm chilling, man. Can't complain, man. Out in AZ enjoying this weather. What's up with you, man?
Ain't nothing, man. I know it's hot out in Arizona if it's hot up here in New York today.
Oh, it's
Shoot.
burning. Burning, man. About 100, probably. 100 and something out here, man.
Oh my gosh, man. So let's get right into it, man. You know you one of my favorite dudes, man. Let's talk about Schenectady born and raised, man. And talk about that upbringing and how you carry Schenectady around in your heart with you.
A lot of people don't know about Schenectady, New York. I mean, if you ran into me or somebody from there, you know what it's about and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's rough growing up there. It's poverty environment. It's a lot of drugs and violence and things like that. So a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to really come out of there. And we don't,
Mm-hmm.
we're not New York City, so we don't got a lot of people who play professional basketball and the NBA and things like that. So it's hard to have a positive, impact on the kids and on the youth like I do today because they really don't have anything to look forward to. So,
Mm-hmm.
growing up for me, it was just me and my moms. I had my cousins and my friends close, but it was just me and her, and she helped guide me through basically everything I need to do. She helped me go to Brewster and
Mm-hmm.
and, and other places, South Kent and things like that. So it was really just me and her. Coming up.
So tell me who put the ball in your hand, man, and like who'd you look up to when you was growing up in Schenectady and said, like that challenged you to say, this is what I want to do.
Honestly, it gotta be. I call my brother. It's my cousin Frankie. I was a baseball player. A lot of people don't know that. Like
Okay.
I was good too. You feel me?
Okay.
Like so, I moved to Schenectady from Old, and
Uh-huh.
I was like 10, 9 years old. And when I got there, I wanted to bring the baseball and the bat to the park. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yo, and I can't lie to you. He was already at the park. He screamed down at me, "Doge, leave that, excuse my language, leave that shit at home." What? I had to go back to my grandmother's house, put the baseball and the bat up, and from that day it was on. Like, I
Right.
already like basketball, but
Right.
it's kind of he really was like, listen, we're not doing baseball over here. This is, you know what I mean? You're gonna have us
Right.
looking bad. We play ball over here. So,
Right.
I got there and it was active after that.
No doubt. So you went to Schenectady High. How long were you at Schenectady High?
I was at Schenectady High for 3 years, freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I left after my junior year, and I went to South Kent. I
South Ca-
reclassified and went to South Kent after.
Now, what made you do that? So in Schenectady, you came after some great teams that came through
Hmm.
Schenectady, some true ballers. Jakey went to Texas, and
Hmm.
Ray went to UMass. Like there were some straight ballers coming out of Schenectady. So talk about coming up through Schenectady after those dudes. What was that pressure like?
That was, they set the platform for me. More so Ray Ray. Ray Ray set the
Mm-hmm.
platform for me, and Willie and Jake set the platform for him. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like I knew of Jakey, I knew of Willie. Jakey
Mm-hmm.
from my hood, so
Mm-hmm.
I always seen Jake, Willie from my hood. I always seen
Mm-hmm.
Will. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But Ray Ray was still like he was the closest one to me,
Right.
and he was mostly on my block. So like
Mm-hmm.
every time he come home from college or stuff like that, I always seen Ray. I got to
Mm-hmm.
see Ray playing high school. When
Mm-hmm.
Jake and Willie was in high school, I
Mm-hmm.
was still in Albany. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
All
So
right.
I didn't really know how I wasn't even playing ball, so I didn't really know what was going on. So
Mm-hmm.
as I started watching Ray Ray, he getting scholarship offers. We had guys like Saquon, Jason McCreef, all
Mm-hmm.
these dudes that was getting scholarships and stuff. And I'm like, yo, I want to be like them. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Ray
Got
coming
it.
home, giving me all his UMass gear and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I see Jake pull up in the Chrysler 300s when they first came out. I'm thinking it's a Bentley. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, you know, that them guys really set the platform for me, especially Ray, because watching him go through college and you know, seeing the teams that he played against. So watching him, that made me familiar with college basketball. I wouldn't even know who Xavier was if it wasn't for, you know, Ray playing against them or Lionel Chalmers going there. When I got a scholarship to Xavier, the first person I called was Ray. I said, what you think? He said, that's the one. You know what I mean? So
no doubt about it. So you say you left after your junior year, you reclassed. What made you and your mom make that decision for you?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Doge. It was crazy, man. My junior year was hectic because, like, you know, like I said, being upstate, we don't get the exposure that, you know, the city gets. So I only had like one or two scholarship offers. I think Siena and Buffalo was my only offers. You know what I mean? And Coach Medved, Eric Medved from upstate, he was like, I'm taking guys on little recruiting trips, and you going to South Kent. We're going to go to Villanova. You know, we're going to do that type of stuff. So I told my coach, yo, after practice, I leave a little couple minutes early because the coach coming to pick me up so we could go visit some schools. I guess he was just thinking it was colleges, you know what I mean? But I went to visit the prep school and all that, and I guess the next day he found out. He sat me in a sectional game. You know what I mean? I was a junior, but you know, my older cousins on the team, my best friends. So if we lose, this their last chance to do anything. You know what I mean? I was hurt. He didn't play me. You know, Hopkins, the one that's the head coach at Washington. He was at Syracuse. He's in the crowd. I'm like, yo, he got to be here for me. He got to be here to see what I can do or something. You know what I mean? So dude ain't played me the whole game because I went to visit a prep school.
So that was like the nail in the coffin right there.
Yeah, so I'm like, I already wanted to go to prep school to just, I mean, I knew that it was going to help me. So then I'm like, yo, he really did that. So I just left out the locker room at the end of the game and grabbed my mom. She's like, you okay? I said, yeah, I'm all right. She said, what you going to do? I said, we're going to figure it out. And then God bless her, in that summer when I was with the City Rocks, we played against South Kent and the Syracuse Dome in the camp. We played against Coach Chills and them. And after the game, you know, I played good. We walking down, we giving each other flowers and stuff like that. He like, yo, I love your game, and kept walking. Oh, all right, so I mean, maybe I can go there. You know what I mean? So I talked to Coach Calm, that's the coach at Siena right now, and I mean, we linked it up, and I got to go on a visit. He liked the way I played, and I got a little scholarship to go there to South Kent. So I was gone. I was gone.
So talk about the difference of Schenectady. A lot going on in Schenectady. It's a lot going on in Schenectady. Sure. Now you pack these bags and you're at a boarding school now. So ain't no go to school, go to practice, and then I'm back on my block no more. And you can't get to your block. You understand what I'm saying? So what was that like for you mentally with that?
I'm gonna be real with you. It was tough, man. It was yo. South Kent. Oh man, it's like picture putting a dollhouse though in the middle of the woods. Like it was crazy, nothing near you. Closest McDonald's like an hour and stuff like that. So you know, it takes time to get used to it. But I knew the purpose why I was there. Like one thing these kids today don't know about prep school, they think it's easy. I'm just going to prep school. Nah, you have to really know what you're there for. You know what I mean? So that was the first thing. And then, you know, my best friend DJ, he always told me like, yo, listen, you ain't missing nothing at home. You know what I mean? My cousins tell me, you ain't missing nothing. Don't worry. Like, but I always go home and visit like on the vacations and stuff, get a little break. So it was okay for me. Long story short, it was okay for me because I knew what I was there for. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Nah, I trust me. I know. I went to St. Thomas More, and it's these schools. These New England schools are in the middle of nowhere, man. You know what I mean?
St. Thomas More too.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But you ain't got no choice but to get better. You know what I mean? So now take me through that because you didn't end up at South Kent. You ended up at Brewster up in New Hampshire. So now you done gone from Schenectady to Connecticut. Now you really gone because now you up in New Hampshire, and you know what I mean. I got history with my man, coach. You know, with Jason Smith. That's my dude from way back, and he said Mark Lyons, arguably the toughest player to ever put on a Brewster uniform, and we know the players that come through Brewster. Talk about your time. Talk about your time up in Brewster and what that did for your development.
Coach Smith is that dude, man. He that dude, man. Like the way he could just bring the group together like he do, like a lot of coaches can't do that. And like one thing about him, he wasn't dumb to what was going on up there. Like, you know what I mean? It's some racism up there, you know what I mean? But once you within that campus, you within that campus, you know what I mean? And he protected us, he took care of us, and he kept us focused. Like Coach Smith is that transition from South Kent to Brewster was the easiest transition I ever had to do from like one school to the next. Like, you know, I played against him the year before and stuff like that. So he already knew what he was getting from me. The first day he made me a captain, me and Emmanuel Negadu, like he just knows he's ahead of the players that's coming in. Like he knows what to expect. And it made it easy for me. He gave me the keys to the car. And like, you know what I mean? I hope it brings the first NEPSAC championship because he had faith in me, so I knew I had to deliver for him, man. He gave me the keys, and I can't thank him enough, man. I still talk to him to this day. That's my man.
Yeah, my man too. Whoa. Shout out to Coach Smith, man. Shout out. So you wound up going to Xavier. Who did it come down to? What were your final two choices?
Honestly, I committed to Xavier so early that it was the best school on my list. Like, it was the best school. I committed early in my junior year. It was the best school on my list. And then after I committed, you know, I started picking up more interest. You know what I mean? The Connecticut's and stuff like that. Then I got to Brewster. And when the way we was hooping at Brewster, Coach Smith told me, like, yo, listen, schools are going to come after you. You know what I mean? Like, I want to tell you this now. Like, schools are going to come after you. But, you know what I mean, Xavier's a good situation for you. He kept telling me, like, bigger schools are going to come, but that's a good situation for you. And I kept thinking, like, you know, Chu Holloway, he committed after me. I'm like, yo, Coach, like, you sure they're not trying to recruit over me? Like, it's a good situation for you, you know what I mean? But if he wasn't telling me that in my ear, and Coach Book, because Book was calling me every day, like, if Book and Coach Smith wasn't telling me, like, yo, it's a good situation, I definitely probably would have decommitted and went somewhere else. But it was a couple schools who was trying to get me after, but I was focused on Xavier because I knew I had an impact right away. You know what I mean?
Right. No question. So when you got up there, you had to redshirt your first year. You know, I also redshirted my first year of college. And, you know, when you used to just hooping, we've never been without the game. So now you put an 18, 19-year-old kid in college with so much going on, and we don't have that one thing to keep us focused. Talk about that redshirt year and what that transition was like.
Honestly, the redshirt year, it molded me into like a college player. You know what I mean? Like you said, you redshirted, so you should know like it helps you it helps your growth as a player for sure because you're getting more lifting in and you're focused on things that the other players ain't really focused on. You focused on practice. You get better every day in practice. The practice is your games. You know what I mean? You lifting extra. And so it was just better for that. But off the court would help me really get through all that. You know, watching them travel. You know, usually by yourself. I had my guy with me. I had Jordan Crawford, who just transferred from Indiana. So me and him was together all the time. When they leave, we still together. So having him help me get through the whole season because if I can't imagine redshirting by yourself, man.
It's tough.
Your team leaving you every week and stuff, that would have been crazy. But me and him together, it was easy. I mean, just work out together, whatever, go to class, after class, chill. Like, so it was easy for us. You know what I mean? Just get better on the court and in the weight room. And then when your time come, just make sure you're ready.
Absolutely. No doubt. And so now you get in there your freshman year. You're getting that taste of it, and you do well. You had a solid freshman year, but then from that freshman year to that sophomore year, you doubled your scoring average. Talk about that jump. So you said, yo, like, I became a player. All that work, practice was my game. I stepped in, I got a taste of it, and now I know what I can do in the A-10. Like, I belong here. Maybe Coach Smith and Book was right. This is the best situation for me. And you made that big jump and double. Talk about that jump between that first year and doubling your average your sophomore year.
Honestly, it was mostly like, you know, Jordan being there that first year, he was an NBA dude. Like, we knew that from his sit out. Like, you know, he was killing. So we knew everything was going to go through him and our center. You know what I mean? Two picked it up my freshman year. He picked it up tremendously. He took that leap. You know what I mean? And then the leap that he took his sophomore year, I took the next year because JC wasn't there. Our center wasn't there no more, Jason Love. So I remember we played Gonzaga. I remember like it was yesterday. He said, yo, bro, I need you, bro. He said, listen, I know I can count on you, bro. And from that day, when he told me that, I said, yo, I can't let him down from that day. From that day when he told me that. Because I said, he's counting on me to do more than what I'm counting on myself to do at the time. You know what I mean? So we went into A10, we went to the A10 schedule, and I just had the confidence to know, all right, right now I'm the Robin to my man Batman. You know what I mean? He's been here for 2 years. He a junior. Let me help him out, you know what I mean, as much as I can. And I just had the confidence from him because he was our leader. So it was easy for me.
Right. Now, no question about it. And, you know, you guys went on to become that following year. And if you're a true basketball dude, so you got your big bloods, you got your Kentuckys, your Dukes, and, you know, whatever, and they're always going to get all the notoriety.
Yep.
No question about it, your junior year, y'all the best backcourt in the nation. It is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a basketball person. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Best backcourt. 2 is an All-American. 2's on the Wooden list. You up and coming. Yeah. It just is what it is. 2 is top 5 in the country, period.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Sure. So now y'all got bullseyes on y'all back. Like, y'all really got it. Y'all really got it going on, man. Yeah. You make all Atlantic 10, everything. But let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Let's get it out in the open. Let's get it on the table. We running. Now, everybody knows since the Kenyon Martin days and whatever, the David West days, they know that Cincinnati Xavier rivalry gets popping.
Crazy.
You can play 30 games a year at Xavier and Cincinnati and nobody cares. It's really about when Cincinnati plays Xavier.
It's crazy.
Okay, so now let's talk about it. December 11th, 2011, that week, it's getting a little chippy, but it's been getting chippy prior to you even getting there. You know what I mean? Like, things are always going to happen because it's a chippy game.
Yeah, it's a right.
They talking a little trash. Y'all feel disrespected. Here go these upbringers we talk about. I'm in Cincinnati, but I'm from Schenectady. Yeah, I'm in Cincinnati, but I'm from Hempstead. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so now we getting into the game, and not only y'all talking trash, we busting y'all ass right now.
Yeah, but dub.
You know what I mean? We busting y'all ass, and we played in the park coming up. We gotta talk that game. We gotta talk that game.
We gotta talk about it. Because y'all was talking about it first. So, like, now y'all down. We got to just say what's going on.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But the thing is about that whole situation, though, like, a lot of people don't know. Two played with them every summer. 2 was on their summer team, their summer league team. You know what I mean? We had a little summer pro-am. Yep. 2 always played with the UC guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
I always seen the UC guys. To this day, me and Yancey homies. Like, you know what I mean? Deontay Vaughn, like Rashad Bishop, like Sean Kilpatrick. Like, he always was cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just that the media built up the game with the side antics so much. You know what I mean? Like, they built it up so much that 2 is always a silent killer on the court. He wasn't running down the sidelines on the benches telling you, this is my city. He wasn't. He would have never did that.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have no point to prove. I'm an All-American.
Right.
But, you know, the media, y'all built it up so crazy. It's like, I got to talk trash. Like,
right.
And another thing is, if the freshmen didn't know how cool the upperclassmen were. You know what I mean? Like, 2 got into it with the freshmen to begin with. He don't really know 2 like that. He thinking, okay, the media talking crazy. Let me talk crazy too. Like, we really beefing with these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Desmond Wells on my team. He a freshman. So he runs down and pushes the other freshmen. Like, you know what I'm saying? And there wasn't no real upperclassmen until the whole thing broke out. You know what I mean? So it was just a lot of animosity from leading up to the game.
Right.
And then us winning like that, I mean, it was a lot.
Right. Nah, and like I said, the way you grow up is we talk trash. It's a sign of respect. You know what I mean? If you was busting my ass, you'd be talking shit to me. So you gotta be able to take it, you gotta be able to give it, you gotta be able to take it. So like you said, so I think, and I'm gonna get into mainstream media in a second because I feel like, and I've watched the clip over and over leading up to this interview, and I felt like some things got taken out of context if you don't understand where kids come from. You don't know their environment. You don't know how they were brought up. So, when you getting in the game, like, yeah, if I'm killing you, yeah, like, yo, what's up? Y'all was talking all that trash, we busting y'all ass by 20 right
what's
now.
up? Yeah.
So now the only thing they can revert to is like, I'm heated. So there's a guy on the bench talking to you while you in the game, like you on the bench, money, like you know what I mean?
Sure, like
and
you're not even here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Like if we was playing against any other regular team, it wouldn't have been none of that. You know what I mean? It's just a rival.
Right.
And I'm not saying this. I'm not even saying it's the media fault. It's our fault for our actions, but it's y'all fault for not understanding why we had them type of actions. You get what I'm saying? It's our fault. We definitely could have handled things better.
Right.
But give us a little benefit of we just came into a whole rivalry that's been going on for years. A lot of our fans is sleeping outside for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like this ain't no regular game.
Yeah.
So, for us, our emotions and stuff is gonna be built up. If we can go back, for sure things would be different. We would say things different. We wouldn't even go into the media most likely. You know what I mean? But things happen, and all we could do is grow from that. I feel it hurt me too, but you know what happens, man.
Absolutely. So now, it happens, and then, I think that's part one of it. You know what I mean? All right, the fight happens. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Emotions got the best of us. We win the game.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the press conference right now.
Yeah.
My emotions are still, emotions are still high. Of course, they don't want to talk to nobody else. I want to talk to, let me talk to two, and let me talk to Mark. Their emotions are still high. And again, you ain't got, I know it says Xavier on your chest, but it's Hempstead sitting up in there, and it's Schenectady sitting up in this media room right now.
That's what I'm saying.
It ain't gonna sound, if you just want to talk, if you want to talk to my coach, it's gonna sound a lot different than when you talk to us. We gonna talk it like we came up. So when I heard Tu say what he said, right? So
which
maybe
was nothing wrong.
Right, which I'm sure right now, like to say like we're we're gangsters over here, not thugs on the court. I feel like they just held on to the word gangster.
And threw it on everything.
Yes. You know what I mean? So we wasn't talking about like, yo, I got a gun in the locker room or whatever. He's talking about we gangsters on the court, meaning we tough. But again, you got to know what that means. So that's why I felt like the mainstream media. Now, of course, Tu, I'm sure in retrospect, Tu probably said he could have said something else. But in that moment, I'm 19, 20 years old. Listen, we gangsters on the court. You have to understand what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? And like you said, the backdrop of it, we're not even really beefing with them. We good with them.
We good. But those, you really... If you dissect exactly what Tu said, like if you really take exactly what he said word for word, he didn't say nothing wrong. Like that's what he said. Yo, he said we gangsters in the locker room.
Yeah.
Not thugs.
Right.
But tough guys on the court. I don't think there's a better way to put it besides taking gangster out. You know what I mean? But
right.
He explained it right after. So it's like you really try to tarnish this little kid, and he really broke it down to you what he meant. Like you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we didn't back down. You know what I mean?
Right. But, and that's it. And then your comment. Yeah. I think that goes for anybody, and I don't care where you're from. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
You come at me, I'm coming at you. Like you're not going to hit me and walk away. I think that's tough for anybody. That's white, black. I don't give a care what you are. So you know what I mean? And it's just kind of saying what you feel, but there's a way that mainstream media can take what you guys are saying and make you guys look the way that they want you to look. You know what I mean? Because there's not a care. There's not a genuine care for Tu Holloway and Mark Lyons. So the way you took what these kids said at 19, 20 years old had ramifications for down the line.
And I think, but the thing is, they know these things have like repercussions down the line. Like you get what I'm saying? That's the thing I don't get. Like if I'm in their jobs and I'm in they foot shoes and stuff, I'm not gonna just try to take these little kids down. I'm gonna tell the story for what it is. I'm not gonna do something that's gonna jeopardize them down the line, especially when I'm in y'all city and I love y'all game. I'm a fan of y'all and I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? I just don't get it, bro. I didn't think nothing was wrong. Like from my perspective, I didn't think nothing was wrong until I actually got home. When
Okay.
I got home and my phone started ringing. Like when we left the locker room, we got the interview. I didn't think nothing was wrong. When I got home, rewatched it. When you rewatch the fight, then they showed me at halftime or something like beefing with one of the freshmen who didn't even play. And then you watch the interview and the fight. It's like, damn, it looks terrible.
Right.
It looks terrible. You know what I mean? It looks terrible. We definitely should have handled things 100% better. You know what I mean? But like you said, we 19, 20, 21 years old at the time. Like,
right.
We undefeated in the country. Xavier, I don't know when they ever been top 10 in the country, top 5.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? We the
Absolutely.
best backcourt. Like, we on our high horse right now. You know what I mean? We just won by 20. We full of emotions, man. You know what I mean? And it hurt us.
And you know, are you guys the first people to ever get into a fight in a basketball game? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, that's what happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
it's you know, Ron Artest, you Steven Jackson, like, you know, you get in
sure.
trouble, but you can come back from it. It is what it is.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I told you about Jason Smith and what he said about you, and this says a lot about who you are. Now you're Xavier. I talked to Book Richardson, who I know you got a lot of love and respect for. Book, only thing that Book said to me, I said, listen, I said, Book, I got Cheeks coming on the show. Book said, Rel, certified killer. Certified killer.
For sure.
Tell me where that killer came from for you.
Honestly, it was just my park, man. That J. Brawl park, it bring it out of you, man. It bring the killer out of you. You know what I mean? Because you always wanted to be the best coming up, and I wasn't even nowhere near the best, though. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, you know, streets took a lot of people. You know, the hustling took a lot of them. You know what I mean? And just the will to get there took a lot of them. School took a lot of them. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
it was just, you know, growing up, you just want to be that dog. Like, if you wasn't, it was just like you wasn't gonna get picked. All right, nah. First step is getting picked. Let me get picked. Now I want to be first. Okay, now I'm first. Now I want to be the captain. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
It was always a chain that you was always trying to climb when you was in the hood. You know what I mean? And like, to get to the top, you had to be hungry. And once you was at the top, those are the ones you knew was killers. Like, you at the top, you know, watching Tiki Maven. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know Tiki, #1 player in the country. You know what I mean? 8th, 9th grade, 10th grade. You know what I mean? Like, just watching him on the court, his whole demeanor was just like, he ain't have to score. He was the best player.
Yeah.
Because his killer, he was just like, yo, I'm better than y'all. Like, you know what I mean? So just watching guys like him, it was just like, all right, it's more about my demeanor and my heart. It has nothing to do with like how good I am, which I'm good. So if you throw both of them together, who better than you? You know what I mean? Never back then. Why?
Right.
Basketball. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's where I got that from.
No question. So now you break up out of there, out of Xavier, and then you follow Sean Miller and Book out to Arizona. And that campus life out there got to be crazy. You know, like how good Arizona is out there. Like, I had Book on the show earlier. We talked about the fan base at the University of Arizona. It had to be crazy, man. And you know what I mean? And you came up in there as their first 4-year transfer. So you graduated from Xavier.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't care about All Atlantic 10, how much money you making overseas. That right there, when you telling me how you came up, there's a piece of paper out there that says Mark Lyons got a college degree.
For sure.
That's the most important thing, and you deserve love for that. You understand me? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
So now you get out to Arizona. Great situation. And like, you know how it is when you leave high school and you go to prep school, like, you're coming in more polished. I done have 4 years of college basketball. I'm coming up in here. I'm good.
I'm straight.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't have to go through the growing pains. Like, I already know what I'm doing.
I'm solidified. I know what's going on. And I'm playing for the same coach who brought me in.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And you set the record for most points from a transfer in Arizona history. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people might not know that. Average 14 points a game.
I know that.
Listen, I do my homework, Cheeks. You understand me? First team All Pac-10. First team All Pac-10. which is one of the top conferences in the country.
That year it was the top conference.
So at that point, you gotta feel like, yo, like the league got to be right there in my hands right now. You understand what I'm saying?
What I was thinking, bro.
Right. So talk about that disappointment. You understand what I'm saying? Like you kind of got to feel like I did. I think I did everything that I had to do to get myself there. You know, to get that shot. Talk about that.
I mean, to cover everything you just said, you know, like from transferring, like from my visit to Xavier with Coach Carm, you know, Coach Carm holding me down, you know what I mean? To my visit to go to Arizona, that's like night and day. You know what I mean? Like now I know what's going on. This is a bigger campus, so like it was nothing for me to go there. I was supposed to go to Kentucky, but once Book called me, it was over. Like, on, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, just the whole like NBA thing. It was like now that I'm older and understand basketball, you know what I mean? I know I had the skill. You know what I mean? Like I know I did. Is there things in college I wish I could have did differently? You know what I mean? Instead of averaging 17 or 16, whatever, all right, let me get 12 or something and get more assists. Like, but the game was so different, though. So like, they didn't want scoring point guards when I was coming out.
Right.
Kyrie Irving wasn't Kyrie who he is today.
Yeah.
There wasn't Dame Lillard was a rookie, so they didn't know what he was getting. Everybody hated Westbrook. You get what I'm saying? Like there wasn't no scoring point guard. Steve Nash was still the man. Steph Curry wasn't even a top 5 point guard in the league. Like, so they didn't really know what type of guards they was really looking for. They wanted pass first guys. So like, I guess now I understand. Like, you know what I mean? I was mad coming out because I'm looking at guys like, you know, Shane Larkin and these guys that I got the better of when we played, and they going lottery. Not saying they don't belong in the league, but if I got the better of him and he going lottery, I can't be the last pick.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't do an Isaiah Thomas or something.
Yeah.
That was my only thing. I just think that they would have if I would have got 1 foot in the league, I feel like I would still be in the league. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Same with a lot of guys. You know what I mean? But if I had 1 foot in there, I would have been in there. But I didn't have time to go through the G League and stuff like that. Like I wanted to support my family and get to the bag. So you know, everybody take their own routes. But that was just for me. I couldn't do the G League thing.
Right. So I keep referencing where you come from, you know what I mean? Because I know about it. So to go from there and now, like, you traveling the world, man, all these countries that you played in, you really got an opportunity that a lot of kids who grew up like you don't get the opportunity to get. A lot of the kids don't know they don't even know what a passport is. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
I'm grateful, man.
So talk about the experiences, man, of playing overseas, man, because it ain't nothing to play with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to get to the league, but playing overseas is okay too.
Overseas, the only thing is, like, I mean, some places you could get NBA money, but you ain't gonna get no real big NBA money overseas. You know what I mean? But the competition, you understand? I played with guys who came from the league,
right?
And it's like they can't pan out overseas because you gotta really think the game. This ain't no ISO where, I mean, nobody's in the paint. Nah, you can play zone. You got 7-footers just sitting in the paint all day. Like, ain't no ISOs. Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like college basketball all over again.
Yeah.
Like, so the structure is a lot different than the NBA, and you know, the living experience and stuff, like, it's great depending on where you play at. Like, if you're in a place like Israel, you know, Spain, you know, places like that, you good. But I played in China, Russia, like, cold. You away from nobody speak English. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing to do. So like, overseas is great. It's just depending on where you at, but you always grateful because at the end of the day, you get to feed your family and you playing the game that you love for money. So like, you know what I mean? It's always a blessing. But some people get it confused that it's like, oh, it's just glory. Like, you know, like they think you just overseas living a life when it's a struggle not being away from your family and your friends and stuff, and still for 10 months every year, you basically live overseas.
Right. No question about it.
So, but I mean, we enjoy it though. The competition is at an all-time high. You know what I mean? So I love it though. I'm gonna keep doing it until, you know what I mean? Until I get tired of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So describe the difference of, you know, the international game as opposed to the American game. What adjustments did you have to make to playing overseas?
I had to be like, that's what I'm saying. If I knew these things in college, it would be so much different. But like, just being ahead of the game, you know what I mean? Like, ain't no reason to look at the person in front of you. Like, you got to think of plays ahead of you. Like, look at the person behind him. Like, I'm going by the person in front of me. Like, I mean, now look at the back of the defense. Okay, come off this pick and roll, make that little short drop pass to your big man so he can make the one mores to the corners. And you know what I mean? Just the simple, the extra ball movement and trusting your teammates to make that extra play for you. You know what I mean? Because when I was in college, our big men, Kenny Freeze could pass, but a lot of our bigs was mostly finishers. Overseas, these dudes really got touch, and you know what I mean? So you could put a little bit more trust in people to make plays, even your big. So that's the adjustment I made, you know what I mean, to help me keep playing this long. You know what I mean?
Is the language barrier a big obstacle, or how do you deal with that in different countries?
Mostly everywhere I've been, they spoke English. You know what I mean? Only about 2 places I've been, they ain't speak English, but you get a translator. You know what I mean? Even if in Turkey, my coach ain't speak English, so we had a translator and stuff like that, which be hard to communicate and stuff like that. But sometimes it's good because you don't want him to know what you're saying. You might be mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what he saying? Like,
Right.
You know
Nah,
what I
no
mean?
question.
That's
So,
that, man.
So when the pandemic happened, was your season finished overseas, or it had to get shut down early, and then you just had to get back? Just cancel
canceled the whole league and sent us home. You know what I mean? They shut it down for probably, I want to say I was over there, I want to say 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Without hooping, and they sent us home. Sent us straight home, man. First flight.
Damn, that's crazy. So what you been doing during this time? Like how do you stay in shape with all these? Are the gyms open out there?
Okay. Nah, I just got into one gym just now, like literally probably 4 days ago. You know what I mean? But I just been doing like my core stuff, pull-ups, dips, push-ups and burpees and shit like that. Just to stay in shape until it's time to get right. As much as I can.
And now, is there a certain time where you get to go back overseas? Like, is it like let's say if life opens up in August, like when do you usually get back overseas anyway?
I usually around like the end of August, early September. I mean, some teams be wanting you to go early August, but usually guys don't. If you're a vet, you don't be trying to be over there that early. You know what I mean? Because you just left in end of May. You know what I mean? Early June. So try to get as much. So like September, probably when I be back over there, unless I want to go play somewhere for the summer. You know what I mean? So, but usually we go over there in like September.
Okay. So we on here talking to Mark Lyons. If you guys got any questions for Cheeks, put them in the comment box, and we try to get some questions off to you. So let's talk about it, man. Like, who was your toughest person that you had to play against in college, and why?
The toughest person I had to play against in college, I would have to say, man, probably say the best player we played against probably was C.J. McCollum and Will Barton. One of them would probably be the best that we played.
Okay.
But the toughest, I'm going to go on a limb and say Jimmy Butler he was on a different, him and Jay Crowder together and Darius Johnson on them. It was tough. It was tough. I was only a sophomore, so I was still young, but I'll probably say Jimmy Butler was the toughest. Because we didn't even know who he was at the time.
Right.
And he was just bigger, stronger, faster. He was just as fast as me at 6'5", 6'6". You know what I mean? So I might give it to Jimmy Butler.
Okay. That's what's up.
I might give it to Jimmy Butler.
Toughest place that you ever had to play?
Dayton. By far.
Shoot.
By far. By far, Dayton. We won in Dayton once, but yeah, Dayton ain't nothing to play with. They gym was rocking. When I say rocking, though, rocking. Can't hear nothing in that gym. So I'll go with Dayton. I'll say Dayton.
So, break down Mark Lyons' game for me? Like if I'm asking, like, okay, if somebody's coming to me right now and saying, listen, you need to get Mark Lyons on your team, what am I getting?
You getting what you need. Like, what you need? Yeah, what you need? Like, you want me to score? I mean, you get like a shoot off the pick and roll, which you always need to. You always want your point guard to be able to shoot, so nobody can go under your screens and stuff like that. I mean, definitely could pass. You know what I mean? I'm gonna play defense. I'm athletic. Always been one of the most athletic on my teams. And you're getting a leader. You know what I mean, you're getting a leader and a dog. You're getting somebody that you know your troops can count on to go to war with. You know what I mean? That they can rely on. You know what I mean? When times get crucial, that's my best moments. When the pressure on, that's when I'm at my best. So that's what you're gonna get.
I love it. And so my man JJ Harvey got a question for you.
Yeah.
He wanna know, Lionel Chalmers, who, like, one of the originals, you know what I'm saying, played at Xavier. Was he like a mentor to you? Like, do y'all keep in touch still? I know he like one of the OGs up there.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I never talked to Lionel for real. Never. But Lionel is the reason why I went to Xavier. You know what I mean? Just to be honest with you, the reason why, like, him going to Xavier, going to the NBA from the 5-on-8, like, that was unheard of from us. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go to Xavier and I'm gonna go to the NBA. That was my not. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how I was thinking. Like, he did it, I'm gonna do it. We got similar games, so I'm gonna do the same. Like, so Lionel was definitely the reason why I went to Xavier. Like, if he didn't go to Xavier, I wouldn't have went there for sure.
Absolutely. So, I lived upstate for a little while. I know you used to come home and play when you came home.
Yeah.
So when you got back home, like, who did you like playing against? Who was that one dude that you liked playing against when you came back home? I'm not going to say a measuring stick, but you was going to get, that quality opponent.
It's a lot of them. I
Yeah,
mean, when we
yeah.
was younger, it was like, first come home, it was definitely Taylor. Like, if I could play against Taylor Battle, you know what I mean? Like, that was always my rival. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Me and Taylor and Jimmer. You know what I mean? Jimmer Fredette. Like, but Jimmer ain't from our area, so like, he
Right.
just a little bit up, a little bit further. So it was Tayller, but Taylor didn't play outside as much. You know what I mean? So
Right.
we didn't really get to play as much. But outside, I mean, it was a lot of, you know what I mean? It wasn't, I don't know. I was just, only person who was messing with me was Bugs during my era. You know what I mean? And nobody else was really on my level for real.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you got Pooh Man, who was older than me. Look forward to playing against him. My son Edwin Jubilees and things
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
as far as my age, nah, it was too easy for me out there. For real though, man. I ain't gonna lie, I don't even want to say it like that, but it
Right.
was, man.
Okay.
It was, man.
Nah, no doubt, no doubt. So, playing overseas and everything like that, do you see, are the NBA scouts overseas? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
do you still feel like there might be a shot for me? Like, I'm older now, I'm more polished right now, or do you really, like, have you put the NBA in your rear view?
Yeah, I put that behind me, bro. If they come, they come. You know what I mean? But like, what your coach just was at our game. Who the best GM in the league? What's his name from the Raptors?
I can't, Suri,
Masai
yeah,
Ujiri or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, he was just at our game.
Okay.
Like what? My third game? No, my last game before I left overseas. He was just over at. I mean, so they be over there, front
Yeah.
row watching you. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean. You play good, but they be there for the younger guys. You know what I mean? So you probably get invited to a summer league if you're an older guy or get a guarantee or something like that. But
Right.
I ain't doing no summer league either. So if they
Right.
ask me, I can't. If you guarantee me like 20 minutes or something, I can go play for sure. But I'm not gonna just sit on the bench at the age of 30, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I could do that for the NBA check all day. But I mean, I need an opportunity to show you what I got in the summer league. Like,
Right.
no, man,
Nah.
that's for the young guys.
No question about it. So, is there a kid that you play with overseas? Because they turn pro early
Yeah,
overseas. Is
yeah.
there a kid that you've seen overseas that you was like, he's going to be in the league? He's going to be in the league.
The best young guy I seen was I don't know if you know Dario Saric, who used to play for the Sixers. I think he on
Yes, yeah, he on the Timberwolves now, I think.
when I first seen him,
Yeah.
though, I swear to God, I used to call home to all the guys like, yo, he gonna be the best player in the league one day. Like, yo, he was about 6'9", handle, shoot, all that. I said, yo, he's the goods, man. I knew he was going, you know what I mean? Then they got the dude I just played against this year on Maccabi. His name is Denny. Avenger or something like that. He's supposed to be like a top 5 pick. I just played against him this year. He good.
Yeah.
He ain't look like Daryl Sarge to me.
Right.
But he good though. He's good. He'll be in the league for a little minute. He's a good player.
Okay. Top five point guards all time for you.
Top 5 point guards all time. Order or no order?
No order. Just give me your top 5.
Magic, Steph, Jason Kidd for sure. And this is where it gets tricky at. I wasn't really around for Zeke, so I'm going to put Chris Paul there.
Okay.
And God, that last one, they're going to kill me for this, though. Last one, I'm going to go Zeke, man. I got with Zeke. I can't take Zeke.
Okay. All right, no question.
But Kyrie, I'm going to be honest with you. Kyrie better than all of them, but you know what I mean? I don't want people giving me hell on this podcast.
Listen, it is what it is. Listen, it's your opinion. It's your opinion. You know what I mean?
For sure. But I'm just talking about me going off of, just overall, everything you did. You know what I mean? Steph led his team, but Kyrie there though. He close 6. He's 6 right there.
Nah, Kyrie's definitely official. Yeah. Was there a player in college that you didn't get a chance to play against that you wish you would have played against? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who would that be, or who would they be?
I want to play against Peyton Siva and Russ Smith so bad in college. You know what I mean? I want to play against them.
That'd have been a hell of a matchup. I want to
play against them, and I want to play against Villanova. I want to play against my brothers, Corey Fisher and Malik Waynes. I want to play against them over at Villanova. Ooh. But we never got, you know what I mean? Because those was the measuring stick for me. When I was looking in college and stuff, like the best backcourts, I'm looking at them guys like, you know what I mean? This is who we gotta prove we better than too. So those are the dudes I always want to play against.
Absolutely.
And Syracuse.
Syracuse, okay. Well, that's because that's home. That's home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shoot that zone up, man.
So was there something that you was lacking in your game when you got to college? Like, tell me, what's the one skill that you added to your game when you got to college that you didn't come to college with?
I couldn't slow down. Those. Like, I just was always playing that one speed. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't have the craftiness, you know what I mean? Just to raise up and see what's going on while I'm, you know what I mean, making moves and stuff. Like, I was just, let me get to the rim and try to dunk something. Like, let me shoot this 3 now. It wasn't no in between, just trying to figure out the craftiness and things like that. My mind was, you know what I mean? Like, my coach, the head coach at Xavier now, Travis Steele, he told me the best that I ever been explained before. He said, when you about to do your moves, it's hip hop, rock and roll and stuff. But when you driving, I mean, it got to start being, R&B, like blues, like slow down. I mean, get there and slow down. Start to, I mean, read your options and stuff. Don't be moving too fast. So that was the thing I learned though. Instead of playing that at 100%, I mean 100 speed every time, just to slow down, be a little craftier.
All right, so here it go. You watched my podcast before, so you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You ain't been politically correct. Never. Don't be politically correct with me. It's Dozier on here. You understand me?
You.
Okay.
I got you. What's going on?
I need the top 5 out of 518. Your opinion. Ever. In your opinion.
Ever. Oh, man.
And listen, it's 20 different opinions out there. It don't matter to me. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to give you the right, John. I mean,
all right.
I mean, I know I'm in there. So
I'm good. Okay. Then do it. All right. I'm good with that.
But you got Pat Riley. Got Kendrick Perkins and but I can't name these dudes though. Like, you feel what I'm saying? But I gotta name them.
You got
my 5, man. They not in my 5.
Give me your 5.
They not in my 5. I think my dudes will kill him. So I'm gonna go me.
Yeah.
Tiki Mabin.
Tiki.
Jakey. I'm going Jakey for sure.
Okay.
Damn, this is tough,
It
bro.
is. No, it definitely is.
God,
It definitely is. It definitely is.
God, hold on. Lionel, scratch the whole list. Lionel, Willie, Jakey. Wow. Yo, I'm gonna go Ray Ray.
Right.
No, I'm gonna go Jimmer and me, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man. That's
Okay.
what I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
Cause
I got it.
I would have put Taylor over Jimmer, but Jimmer's still playing and Taylor not. So I gotta go for longevity of career. But Taylor
Got you.
deserved that spot, but I can't because boy's still playing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with longevity.
Got you. Got you. Nah, all good. All good. Now you might take a beating for that one, but we good with that.
Oh man, I'm gonna get killed for this. I'm gonna get killed for this.
All
Taylor can have
good,
my
man.
spot. Taylor better than me. I don't want being here no more, man. Damn.
All good, man. All good.
Word.
Listen, baby, you know it's always good to talk to you, man.
For
I
sure,
appreciate
man.
you giving me your time sheets. I
Appreciate
really
you having
appreciate
me,
it, man.
brother.
No doubt. And we'll definitely be in touch, man. You and your family stay safe out there.
For sure. I'll see you when I come home, my guy.
Yes, sir.
All right, baby.